play style of Sensible Soccer and the Sensible Soccer 2006 is very similar to the original Sensible Soccer. It's very fast, it's very quick, snappy passing, it's accurate. Where you point the stick is where the ball goes. It does have some help, but not as much as FIFA or Pro Evo, so people notice that straight away. They'll certainly notice with the shooting, because the shooting is 360-degree control Sensible Soccer 2006. Exactly where you point the stick is where the ball will go. There's no help at all. But you can curve the ball and bend it and twist it and loft it, which is all traditional Sensible Soccer controls, which players of the old games will be used to. So I think people who play FIFA and Pro Evo, the first thing they notice is, A, it's much faster than FIFA and Pro Evo. It taxes you to make quick decisions all the time. Where you're pointing the player is where the ball goes. So you've got to angle yourself properly, get the right weight on the shot, because you can now power up shots you couldn't do before in Sensible Soccer. So we've stolen powered up shots from these games. We've stolen a sprint button from these games, which wasn't in the original Sensible Soccer. We've got 3D, we've got a camera which zooms in and out subtly in different places on the pitch. So people will notice primarily those things. They'll also notice the fact the graphic style is a cartoony kind of look, if you like. We've not gone for a realistic look. There's many reasons for that. The first reason is that, again, FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer do that very, very well. What's the point in being an also-ran kind of game like that when Sensible Soccer itself doesn't... We don't need that, basically. We've got our own style of doing stuff which is established and works. I think that people will notice that Sensible Soccer is the first new football game for a while that's not even trying to be like FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer. That's what people will mainly notice. And some people will go, oh, I don't like it, because the instant reaction is, it's not quite what I expected, although the controls are so similar to Pro Evo and FIFA in terms of where the buttons are positioned. You can pick it up pretty easily. The main thing people notice is they've got to be more accurate with where they're facing before they shoot. You know, it doesn't put the ball in the inside of the post for you because the striker's meant to be good that day. You know, it goes where you're pointing. The second thing they'll notice is it's fast, that there's a lot of freedom for them on the ball, that suddenly the game's responding to what they're doing rather than them being led along by animation. So they'll feel a lot more sense of control and instant feedback from the game, instant gratification of what you're doing, which is interesting because some people really love that and some people really don't like that. It's almost like a polarisation of the initial feedback. This current Sensible Soccer has not got online. There's a good reason for that. Basically, we wanted to get the game out for the World Cup. We started development just over a year ago, and we realised we could not, in the time frame we had, on the formats we're doing, bearing in mind we're doing PlayStation 2 and Xbox and PC, we could not do all those, get the game right, and do online properly. So our decision was very much to not do online for now. I mean, obviously we're hoping to seed the franchise again back into the market so that then obviously another game will come out. Then we'll start to look at things like online, we'll start to look at things like putting the management that was in Sensible World of Soccer, which I know a lot of people want. We'll start to look at handhelds, we'll start to look at the various obvious, there's very obvious options for us to take. This is very much the first foot through the door saying, okay, we're back. And the indications are that it's going to be successful. Obviously, we're 3 or 4 days from launch as we speak now. We're coming out on the 9th of June, which is the day the World Cup starts. So we'll know pretty soon after then how that's going. But I think it's very likely, in terms of discussions which are going on in the background, it's pretty likely we'll carry on with more stuff and you'll start to see all the other stuff come through, including online play, which we'll do, but we'll make sure we get it right. Because one thing you must remember with Sensible Soccer, it's a fast game, which makes the online part actually harder to do, which was why we made that decision that we didn't have the time to do that properly.